No, your eyes are not playing tricks on you. Thelma, my beloved wife, got up to make breakfast, so I moved into the office, which is where I do my calls anyway. So it's good to be here. So you haven't had an interruption, but I have, so I'm going to go back and reread. And again, with Easter and Good Friday and Jesus Christ Superstar and the connection of our group last night, reading the letter on Christ claiming himself, declaring himself within us, um, telling us this is who we already are. We're already doing the work. It's just very uplifting. So this portion of the letter just has a lot of meaning for me. So we just read, "This is the truth behind my crucifixion, and all the rest you have heard is man-made conjecture, arising out of the Jewish practice of burnt offerings in the temple, sacrifices for sin." So Jesus saying, so that's not the truth. I didn't die for your sins. Your sins are free will. There's nothing there. So put that myth out so you can really do what I came for us to do, and that's bring forth the kingdom of heaven on earth. So Christ continues his autobiography of Jesus. "I was a gift from the Father to mankind to help them surmount their ignorance of the Jews, of the laws of existence." I'm sorry. I recorded this when I moved and came back into the office. I recorded it almost to the end and realized I did not have on my headphones and my mic. So, so I'm redoing it. So I'm kind of like, that little bit is still in the back of my mind of, doing it again, but doing it again is, for me, doing it the first time. "I was a gift from the Father to mankind to help them, us, surmount our ignorance of the laws of existence and find the true path of life, leading to the joy, abundance, and perfect wholeness of the kingdom of heaven within." These were the perceptions, the desires, the intentions and goals, and the thought which I bore within my mind and heart. This was the earthly, mental, emotional framework clothing my spiritual consciousness hidden within the head and figure of Jesus. It was my spiritual consciousness, channeled into the above forms of thought and feeling, which impelled me to set out on a 3-year journey to bring to the people what I fully believed was final rescue from our own blind thinking and feeling, which were creating our own troubled lives. I truly believe that if only the people could be shown all that I had been given to me to understand, they would fully realize their past folly and would make every effort to change their thinking and put foot to the path of life leading to the kingdom of heaven. To this end, I was prepared to give my life. And that's the freedom. When, in Jesus Christ Superstar, there's a line that says, Jesus is singing, "To conquer death, you only have to die." Isn't that a freeing thought? To conquer death, we just have to give up, release the struggle, the fear, the whatever, and just go into the void, which we do in meditation, I believe, at least that's where I go, is into that no thingness, that stillness and silence, just shutting off all the senses and just being the vibration. Because of the wrong interpretations placed on my mission by Jewish teachers, my true message has been distorted out of recognition, and the purpose of these letters is to bring to the people of the new age, our age, the truth of what I really spoke to the crowds in Palestine. Therefore, returning to my recounting of those days, let me take you back to a special day which bore much fruit amongst my believers, and made a lasting impression in the minds of my disciples. Hence, for me also, it was a particularly meaningful day. I took time off from the pressure of people to go into the hills to pray and meditate, to recharge my spiritual batteries by making a deep, strong, more powerful connection with the Father within me. This connection was so rapidly obscured within the consciousness when I was busy amongst the people and the crowds that I was exhausted. Arriving in the cave I used when in that area, I pulled out the pallet that I had hidden under a rock and lay down to sleep. Instead of sleep, however, I felt the immediate inflow of divine life, the Father, and the tiredness was dissolved as my body was charged with the power, which is the creative source of all being. Just allow yourself to be in a meditative state through this. I was lifted in consciousness into golden light, and as I was traveling upwards within this light, it suddenly changed to great white, purest white, and I knew that in consciousness, I was now at the portals of the equilibrium, which is the eternal, the universal, the infinite dimension beyond all conception of human mind. I observed the light, but was not of it, nor was it powerfully within me, since this was the God dimension. It's like he's just one with the light. It's not in him or out of him, it just is, and that he is this light. It communicated with me and infused me with its glowing love. It impressed in me, yet again, that it was the creative, perfecting, healing process, love, governing all existence. I knew that wherever there was lack, there would eventually be fulfillment, even as waters flow to fill a lake. Where there is misery, there would be joy, because it was the nature of the universal to move into any living thing in need to bring fulfillment and joy. I knew that where there was no growth, circumstances would arise to promote the growth. I knew that where there was a sense of failure, challenges would be provided to sour people into success and self-confidence. To spur people into success and self-confidence. I saw that this love work constantly initiated by the Father in the lives of overburdened people might not be recognized as a gift of love by the recipients. They might be so sunk in their apathy, feelings of failure. They would fail to see anything in their lives beyond their own beliefs and feelings. Hence, they would remain rooted in their own self-created hell. There was no need to feel sorry for anyone. The only need was a compassionate heart and a determination to bring truth to heal their ignorance. The greatest gift a man could give to another was the enlightenment of ignorance of existence and the cosmic laws, for the truth was and is, every single soul is embraced with the universal, and the degree of universal input via the Father love work. And our lives depends entirely on our individual receptivity to this. I realized that what people needed urgently to hear was all that I had been told. They needed to see and fully realize the intention and the purpose and the potential of love, which was the very substance of their being, our being. Because of our disbelief, they might cast the Father of love work aside as being more pain-inducing challenges, and thus lie down in the failure forever. And that's where I ended last week. And so we begin with the next paragraph. It is an interruption, but it's good. I will probably repeat this when we next come together. Thank you for being with us for the reading of Letter 2, and I believe we'll finish it next week. Have a blessed night, a blessed week, a blessed life, and keep reading the letters. Jesus says, do whatever you want to do, just keep reading the letters, and they will do the work through us, for us, and into our world. God bless us, everyone. Bye-bye for now.